Is it ready to go?
It's recording and then you can go back and edit it.
Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Petrie here. Hello, how's it going? Today, I'm going to read for you a book, a favorite of ours that we used to read when my son was a little boy going through grade school. And the title is Strega It's an old tale retold and illustrated by Tommy De Paola. So with that, and it's a Caldecott Honor Award winning book, which is it's just quite a treat. So I want you guys to sit back and relax and just really soak this in. This is a good time. It's a good story time. Good activity for everybody. In the town of Calabria, a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in the town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had any troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went, because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. She was quite popular. She could cure a headache with oil and water and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands. And she was very good at getting rid of warts. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her with her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the town square. And a big Anthony, who didn't pay any attention, went to see her. Guys, I'm going to have a hard time not going into a voice. So I'm going to do a little voice action for you, so I hope you enjoy it. Anthony, said Strega Nona, you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick up the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch the water. And for this, I give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and the food to eat. Oh, grazie, said the big Anthony. One thing you must never do, said Strega Nona, is touch the pasta pot. It's very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it. Oh, see, yes, said the big Anthony. And so the days went by, and the big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. Ooh. A big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had food to eat. One evening when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard the Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. He was peeking. And she sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and suddenly filled the steaming hot pasta. And then Strega Nona sang again. Enough, enough, my pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. How wonderful, said the big Anthony. That's a magic pot for sure. And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the magic pasta pot. That's interesting. And this is what happened. The next day, when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everyone about the magic pasta pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly. A pot that cooked all by itself. You'd better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony, they said. Such a lie. And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. I'll show them, he said to himself. Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook. And then they'll be very sorry. The next day came sooner than even Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, Anthony, I must go over the mountain to the next town to see my friend, Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden, feed the goat and milk her, and for your lunch, there are some bread and some cheese in the cupboard. And remember, don't touch the pasta pot. Oh, see, yes, said the Big Anthony. But inside, he was thinking, my chance, my chance has come. Whee! And as soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside and he pulled the pasta pot off the shelf and he put it on the floor. Now, let's see if I can remember the words. Said the Big Anthony. And Big Anthony sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. So boil me enough pasta to fill me up. And sure enough, the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with pasta. Aha! Said the Big Anthony. And he ran to the town square and he jumped on the fountain and he shouted, Everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls. Pasta for all at Striganona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pot work. And of course, everyone laughed, but ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls. And sure enough, when they got to Striganona's, the pasta pot was so full, it was beginning to overflow. This sounds good. Me so hungry. Big Anthony was a hero, and he swooped out pasta and he filled the plates and platters and bowls. And there was more than enough for all of the town's people, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 and 3 helpings. But the pot, it never was empty. This is interesting. Ooh. And when all had their big fill, Anthony sang, "Enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I hungry another day." But alas, he did not blow the 3 kisses. And he went outside, and to the applause of the crowd, Big Anthony took a bow. And he was so busy listening to compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and boiling until a sister from the convent said, "Oh, Big Anthony, look!" And the pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Striganona's house and was coming out the door. And Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pasta pot kept bubbling. And he took the pot off the floor, but the pasta kept pouring from it. Big Anthony grabbed a cover and put it on the pasta pot, and he sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover, and Big Anthony as well, and spilled on the floor of Striganona's house. "Stop!" yelled a Big Anthony. But the pasta pot did not stop, and if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. And out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on boiling. The townspeople began to worry. "Do something, Big Anthony," they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without the 3 kisses, it did no good. And by this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. "We must protect our town from the pasta," shouted the mayor. "Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to make a barricade." But even that didn't work. The pot kept bubbling and the pasta kept coming. "We're lost," said the townspeople, and the priest and the sisters of the convent began to pray. "The postle will cover our town," they cried. And it certainly would have, had Stregonona not come down the road home from her visit. And she didn't have to look twice to know what had happened. She sang the magic song and blew the 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling, and the pasta came to a halt. "Oh, grazie! Thank you, Stregonona," the people cried. But then they turned on Big Poor Anthony. "String him up!" the men of the town shouted. "Now, wait," said Stregonona. "The punishment must fit the crime." And she took a fork from a lady standing nearby and she handed it to Big Anthony. "All right. You wanted pasta from my magic pot," Stregonona said. "And I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So, start eating." And he did. Poor Big Anthony. Oh, look at him. He's getting very, very full. Look at all that. I wouldn't be able to eat that. Wow, that would be a lot. It's a lot of carbohydrates, guys. And she ends up in the little bed, sleepy. And poor Big Anthony. He's so full, he can't even walk anymore. He's almost just sitting there, just unbelievable. He gained about 15 pounds. He needs a new belt, maybe some new pants, and a beautiful little rabbit. The end. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Meridian Elementary School's Read Aloud. Again, my name is Mr. Petrie, 4th grade teacher. And until then, don't you go changing.